you're a business. This is what started all the hoopla. This cute little glass pumpkin stem, or this little piece of glass that I got from, you can get this kind of scrap glass from glass blowers. So if there is a glass blower in your community or even close enough that you could go visit, sometimes they'll charge you for this stuff. Sometimes they'll just give it to you. And no, I'm not bringing any stems to Destin. I don't really have that many, but I'm going to give y'all some options on finding them, what to use in lieu of a glass stem, etc. All right. So if you have a glass blower in your area, you can probably call them up, tell them what you're looking for, send them a picture, and they might charge you, they might not, but this is literally just scrap from a glass blower. These are fantastical. All right. So that is option one. Option two is JL Glass. All right, so y'all are all familiar with JL Glass. She is who we buy our vitrograph from. And these are called Chubbies. All right, now I'm going to get my little pumpkin that I've been painting on. And I want to show you, I'm going to do it this way so y'all can see properly. And I'm going to kind of show you on this the options. So here is that glass option. It is so stinking cute, and I don't blame you. I would want it as well. All right, so here, this is our glass stem. And Christina, I'll be in Destin the first week of October for Southern Adornments Live. I'll be teaching at Southern Adornments Live. All right, so this is called a chubby, and JL Glass sells these, and you can see I have green, I have light green, I have an amber one, I have a green, a blue, a green, and this is how cute these look as well. You could totally use a chubby, so that's how that would look. I want to make sure you can see. So this is a light green chubby. Then we have this little chubby, which is a dark green. And you could literally cut some vase to make a leaf to make this even look better. So look at that. You could kind of tuck it in there or do it beside it. So this is a chubby from JL Glass. And they're on Etsy and they have their own website. So this is an excellent option. Look at this. I'm going to show you all the ones I have. So these are, like I said, these are called Chubbies. So hit up Linda with JL Glass for this. They're so cute. Here's a blue one. Love it. Look at that. Super cute. And here's one more green one. So those are options for glass ones, okay? For glass pumpkin stems. Hit up your stained glass people or your glass blowing places or Chubbies from JL Glass. I know she would appreciate the business. All right, next up, I'm going to leave my little leaf there because I like it. The next thing you can do is totally use just a stick. Right? You could totally just use a stick from your yard. They said this little stick literally came, option. This stick literally came. Don't be correcting me when I use wrong words because I can't help it. My brain don't work that great. Menopause is trying to kill me. You could use just a stick from your yard, or, this actually came in a bundle from Hobby Lobby, but you could totally do something like that. You could literally, I had some of this. This is paper covered wire. And I was just teasing, by the way, Carol. I was just teasing. You could totally use some of this paper covered wire and make like a little... Didn't I just do an apple on a 4x4? I think that was in the shattered circle. You could totally grab a stick from outside and then like take some of this covered wire and just wrap it around and make yourself, that's not going to do the job, is it? Let's, I don't want to take it apart because then it'll be a hot mess. Hang on. Wrap it around a pencil, make yourself a little curly Q. These resin really well. Where are my scissors? Oh, I thought you were correcting me. I thought, Lord, if I'm going to get corrected every time I say something wrong, y'all are going to be busy. All right, so this covered wire, you can totally take and wrap it around a stick, and then you could just make it a curly Q, kind of like this. Just a stick from your yard or whatever. You could wrap it all the way up to give it some more bulk. And so you could totally use this covered wire. A cinnamon stick absolutely would work. So that is another option. Just go grab a stick from the yard, wrap some covered wire around it. That is another fun option. Now let's talk about driftwood. I had this piece of driftwood in my stash. Look at that. So stinking cute. That would be a great option as well. You totally could, Marla. My job today is to get you guys to think outside the box. If you can't get your hands on chubbies or on glass stems, then these are just some other options. For a really rustic pumpkin, this would be super cute. It's just a little chunk of driftwood. But if you were doing a tall, skinny pumpkin, you could totally use a stick like this. Your canvas would obviously need to be longer, but you could totally just use a stick, right? Wrap that wire around there, give yourself some curly cues. So wood pieces, driftwood, all that kind of stuff. All right, next up, I know we use the little giblets from these stems all the time, right? Because this one you can tell I've about used up. I've picked off all the acorns and pine cones, and it's about leaf bearing too. But you could totally cut this off, and this is bendy. You could totally cut it off at the end and use that. It's paper wrapped as well. You could totally use that for a stem. Thank you. Look, Rosemary, I broke that one and that one today. Look at that. That's terrible, isn't it? So think outside the box. You can totally use all different kinds of pieces. Just cut that off, maybe wrap some of that wire around the end, and Sprinkle from Texas. You're trying to get me in trouble. So that is an option as well. Look, and if you're doing like a beachy pumpkin, what do you think you could use for a stem if you're doing a beachy pumpkin? Let's pretend this is a beachy pumpkin. Look, boom. You could use one of these pointy shells. I don't know what the name of it is. It's a pointy shell. Right? Yes, Rennie. Driftwood. You can find driftwood on eBay, Etsy, and Amazon. So for a beachy shell or a beachy pumpkin, you could totally just use one of these little thingamajiggy things. Does anybody know what this is? That's right. That's exactly right, Elizabeth. And you know what? When you have menopause brain, you just don't know what's going to come out your mouth. And sometimes nothing comes out, right? All right, so beachy pumpkin stem. All right, next up, I think I covered this, and this. Next up is this. Okay, has anybody ever used Sculpted clay? You guys know what Sculpted clay is? It's like polymer clay that you form and then you bake for like 10 or 15 minutes. Look what I made today with Sculpted clay. Look at that. And all I did, I'm going to give you just a real quick once over. All I did was take a little chunk of the Sculpted clay and start rolling it. All right. And then you want it a little fatter on one end. So you're going to, let me make sure you can see. You're going to take the this part and just roll it out skinnier, the inside of a conch shell. So you're going to get skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. And then you can take that end and kind of mash it flat so it sits really nice on your canvas. Make it kind of flat. And then you can just take your palette knife and make some little lines in your pumpkin. And you can even split it like so. Just make yourself some little woodsy lines. And we'll split her again. And then you can just form that. I'm going to put this one here. You can just form it however you want it to be. You can spread apart. Oops, I broke it. It's because this is starting to dry out because I had it sitting on my desk for too long. You can kind of do whatever you want with the little skinny part. Bake it in the oven for 10 minutes. Then you can paint it however you want. You can paint it burnt umber, add a little white. We may paint this one since it's already pre-baked. So totally can use Sculpted clay for that, all right? And baking it, yes, is that not adorable? And baking it makes it really hard, all right? So Sculpted clay, option. Last, but no, this is not the last one. So I also, remember this model magic stuff we've used before? You can do the same thing with model magic as you did with the Sculpted clay. It just takes this you can bake and it can be ready in 10 minutes. This takes a day or two to dry out before it's ready to paint. All right, so you could totally do the same thing with the model magic. Paint her up, just stick it on your canvas and be done. All right, you're scared to cut the pumpkins. I can't believe that. I can't believe that. Naoma, I think you're fibbing to me. All right, so next up is, I started this. It's probably not dry, but I do want to show you. Yes, you can resin over all of this stuff that I have talked about and shown you. You can resin over, okay? So we're going to paint this one before we log off of here. But I have two more things that I have used for pumpkin stems in the past before I really started doing glass art. This one is might still be wet, but I'm going to unwrap it. You can see that I wrapped it in plastic and then I put a rubber band around it really tight to try to keep it together. But this is literally jute. Okay, I'm going to cut this rubber band so I don't have to unwind it for 10 minutes. Let's see. So I have made stems out of jute. I've made stems out of sisal and I've made stems out of paper. Right, so it's just a matter of Mod Podge and a bit of a mess. Hey Lily, how you doing? So let's unwrap. This might still be wet, and if it is, I'm just gonna kind of show you or tell you what I did. I want it to come out though. All right, so this is jute, and literally it's still wet, y'all. But I'm gonna show it to you anyway. I'm gonna get it out of here. Literally all I did was take jute string, it's very damp, take jute string and cut it in like different lengths, and then I wet it, squeezed it out, and then I added Mod Podge. Then I just twisted it really tight, put it in plastic, rubber banded it together, and now it just needs to dry fully. I did this last minute. So yes, the quickness of the Sculpted clay is the bomb, because I did this in 3 minutes and then it took 10 minutes to cook and it was ready. All right, so this is a really cute idea too. It just needs to be dry. And then you could also add some more jute, like little, so there's your jute, just like little, I can't see, my words don't come. Little curly cues. Last but not least, I'm going to show you how I've made stems in the past for three-dimensional pumpkins. I've never done this for an actual art piece, but I have done this for trying to work and talk at the same time. It doesn't really pan out for me. I've done this for three-dimensional pumpkins. You know how like you get an ugly pumpkin from the craft store and you paint over it and it has that fake little stem on top, and you know there's no way, tendrils, thank you. There's no way you can pull off that it wasn't a plasticky, icky, store-bought pumpkin. You want to make it look fancy. So you can totally glue the sisal or jute to that stem and bring it together with some Mod Podge, or you can do what I'm about to show you. All right, so this is just craft paper. It's actually a paper bag. So this is a little thicker than I wanted, but we're going to work on it anyway, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to take some Mod Podge, and this is going to be super messy, so I'm going to get my little wipes handy and ready for just when I'm done. So I'm just going to take, some Mod Podge, and I'm going to cover. I'm going to pour this out. Watch this. Whoa, that might have been excessive. So I'm just going to cover my entire paper with Mod Podge. This is a messy alternative, especially when you have the clay alternative, but I promised that I was going to show you a bunch of different ways, and this one is a fun one as well. All right, so I'm going to try to get some of this off. I got a little too crazy there. Y'all know how I am. I'm excessive. I'm a lot. Ask Steve, I'm a lot. All right, so we're going to get some of this off. This is going to take 17 years to dry, which is probably why my jute's still wet. All right, so now we're going to take it, and it's going to loosen up a little, but I'm going to start on the very end, and I'm going to start, let me get some of this glue on my hands. I'm going to start twisting, all right, and you're going to twist and twist. This is a little thick for what we're doing, but you're going to twist. I'm going to get a little back on there. Twist, twist, twist. No, not really. Just put it in the oven. It has directions. I think it's like 220 for 15 minutes, and that should do the trick. So you're just going to twist. Being a lot is the best. Well, I'm alive. So you're going to just twist, and what I'm going to do, I think, is cut some of this off. Actually, let's do this instead. Let's give it some sections. Yeah, it's excessive. Let's cut some of it off. Y'all don't let me forget to wipe my scissors off. Now, I learned how to do this long time ago, and I think probably from a YouTube. But now you can take your cut sections and twist those separate. All right, so let's just twist those. Let me get a little on that end. It's a little dry. It's warm in here, so this is what I have used like on three-dimensional pumpkins before in the past. All right, I got some serious glue on my hands now, y'all. So let's see the last one. If you are doing it on a three-dimensional pumpkin, you need to make 4 of these loosey-goosey things so that it sits around your pumpkin. So basically, let me twist that one more time. You would, and you could bend this, twisty, bendy, however you want. You want to let that dry, and then you put it, I don't want to touch my pumpkin art yet, so hang on. Let me wipe off my fingers a little. Another use for Gina's wipes. Get the glue off. And then you could paint this. I didn't do a very good job of twisting that one, but you could totally just add it to your artwork once it's dry and painted. And you got another stem. All right? That is my last one, but before I'm going to clean up a little bit, then we're going to paint our clay one. The paper works great. My paper was a little too thick. I like the thinner craft paper, or a lunch sack actually works really well. Anything like that. Let me clean up again. We're going to let that dry off of there. And yeah, the paper is super cheap. And it works really well. And once it's dry, you can paint it and make it look however you want. You can antique it. You can paint it brown. You can paint it silver, gold, all the things. All right? Now hang on. My hands are super gluey. Trying to get them cleaned up. I got a spray bottle of water. Let me do that. Let's reactivate that glue. All right? Now let me use a paper towel. I made a mess. All right, clean up. So now, before we go, I need to clean my scissors. Thank you. Thanks for the reminder. We're going to clean these scissors up. And we are going to get this mess cleaned up too. I don't want all that glue all over everything. All right. Now, what we're going to do, let me grab some umber. And what color should we paint? I'm going to paint it umber because I'm going to add it to this little piece. This is the one that's Sculpted. And it's actually a different brand, but it's the same stuff. I need to put it in a bag and seal it because I am already almost let it dry up while we were hanging around. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to push this over to the side. We're going to grab a tray. Let me get a clean one. And we're going to paint this. Now, this came in this color. Thanks, Julie. This came in this brown color, so it worked out really well. But right now, we want it to be darker, and we want it to be like a pumpkin stem, right? We don't want it to be a brown blob. So we got a little traditional burnt umber, maybe a little bit of white. And we'll see how that looks. We may do something else as well. So let me get a brush. I'm going to use an old icky brush. We'll wet it. And see how I carved like little etchings into it as well? So we're going to do this. Just paint over it. Make sure you get the sides, and you can paint the back too if you want to, but make sure you get the sides. Oh, that looks good already. Because the dark brown, let's do this. The dark brown, my hands are just going to be a mess today. The dark brown is going into where I etched it. So you could literally just do like this, watch. Get that brown paint on, then take a towel and wipe, oh my goodness, you could just wipe off excess and look what you have. Look at that. Can y'all see that? Give me some hearts if you can see that. Otherwise, I may have to figure out a better way to show it to you. Can you see the little etching? Can you see that? Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm going to wipe off the back a little and lay it on my pumpkin. I don't want a bunch of that brown on there yet, but let's see. Look at that. Look at that. That looks amazing. That looks so amazing. All right, but because I'm me and I can't leave well enough alone, I'm going to take a little bit, I'm going to put a little bit of that brown back on and a couple of spots. Then I'm going to grab a little bit of white I'm going to highlight. I'm going to do a few little strokes of the white in a couple places so it's dimensional. Now let's look. I'm going to flip. Hang on. Let's do it like this. Let me wipe that off because I'm done. I'll put it on here so you can really kind of see it. Check it out. Can y'all see that? Super duper cute. I'm waiting on the camera to catch up so I can see what you guys see. Come on, girl. Catch up. I'm having the worst hot flash in history. So yeah, check that out. A little bit of brown, wipe it off, a little bit of white. Then you have this amazing pumpkin stem, just made out of clay. Check it out. Whew. What do you think? This one is by far, right, Naomi? Nobody's shocked at all. And look how cute that is. Let's put our leaf on there. See what we got. Whoops, let's do it this way. Look at that. That is amazing. So if you can't find the ones we talked about, the glass ones, what did I do with them? If you can't find the glass, I mean, we're glass artists, so most of us want to have a glass stem, but if you can't find this, or if you don't want to the expense of the chubbies, you can literally sculpt your own. Woo! Just sculpt your own. Do your little lines in it. Bake it in. Let me look at the directions so we can know for sure. A little hint of green would be perfect. Let's see what the directions say. It says oven 250 for 15 minutes. And I just put it on a little, I put some aluminum foil on a pan and just stuck it in there. And it's nice and hard. And then you could just add this to your art, pour resin over it, voila, pumpkin city. Pumpkin. Oh my God, Devin. Devin, you crack me up. You crack me up. I'm looking for another white because I got paint all over my hands again. Oh my goodness. Hey, Christine. Threw away Sculpey clay. Well, if it's too hard to work with, you probably just want some fresh anyway, right? Yes, Christine has been with us for 3 years. A lot of you guys have. Girl, I'm 62. I've been having them since I was in my 40s. Nothing helps. I don't care what you say, nothing does. All right, so let me clean up my hands, and then we're going to talk a little more, and then we're going to be done. This was a nice short live. I appreciate y'all showing up for this. I want to talk to you about, well, I do want to talk to you about this pumpkin, because this pumpkin is not videoed. It's not going to be a video. It is just something I started playing with when I had this extra canvas that I had done this texture on, and I wanted to have something to show the pumpkin stems, because I've been practicing some of these Sculpey pumpkin stems for a couple of days. So I wanted to see what it looked like. So I just whipped it out real quick on this older canvas. But it is literally just painted, just like the orange pumpkin that we painted last week with the oranges and the brick red and the white. And then I used my palette knife and just came in with some white and blue and yellow and scraped it over the top of the texture. All right. But here's what I want to do. What I want is to finish this out. Okay. So I'm going to do a video where I'm going to add an antiquing glaze over the top of this whole piece because it's textured. It's got modeling paste on the background. I don't know if you can see that. It does have modeling paste on the background and just a painted pumpkin, a few little grassy strokes. So what I'm going to video is doing the antiquing glaze over this texture. So thank you, Elizabeth. We're going to do an antiquing glaze over this texture. I'm going to show you how to make it look really antique and gorgeous. And then I will add our stem, a leaf, a little bit of glass at the bottom, and I'll be posting that next week while I'm out of town.